Just because I love you, it don't mean I trust you. Everybody not to be trusted. Everybody around me thugging. Everybody around me drugging. Everybody around me hustling. Everybody know not to bring no new riggin' around me. They say I be bugging. Got racks in the go yard luggage. Just cause I love you, it don't mean I trust you. Everybody not to be trusted.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the show. This is another episode of Uncut with Q. We talk about all things business, entrepreneurship, and overcoming hardships. If this is your first time listening, we have a fee for this show. It's pretty simple. If you get value from this, you share the shit out of this show. And so, guys, we have different types of shows. You know, we do different types of segments. Make sure you go through the entire playlist and you'll be able to see everything that we got. I believe right now we're like on episode 71, 72, something like that. And I'm not sure when you're listening to this, but, you know, it's important to us that we build this thing the all natural, organic way. And I truthfully believe that the world, it revolves faster, better, when people are just continuously adding value to each other. So if we add value to you, the value that you can add by giving back to us is you share the show. All right. And also, we haven't been getting a lot of love on YouTube. So if you go to YouTube, make sure you guys comment your questions and we answer them live on the show. And so, you know, we have short form where I kind of come in here, speak my mind. We talk about different things that are trending, or we also have long form where I bring on a special guest who's done certain things in their lives or their business or whatever. And today is going to be a little bit different because I actually have family in the building and this is super awesome. But, you know, she's been a friend of mine, a cousin. She's been so amazing throughout my whole life, and she's been there with me since the very beginning, us growing up and hanging out at our grandma's house and whatnot. But I want you to introduce yourself to the world. Go on ahead and rock it.
Hi, I'm Dani. I'm Q's cousin, but just Dani.
What's up, cuz? I'm kidding. We swear that we weren't going to make this all about being cousins and shit, but she is like legitimately my cousin, and I think that's really awesome. But, you know, we grew up together, and then we also went our separate ways, and then came back and found out that we were both doing real estate together. You came to my first, one of my first big events. I remember you brought your dad, you brought your mom, and all you guys came out and y'all hung out with me. And I mean, it was such a good event. I had probably like 500-600 people in that building.
It was at the Carver Academy.
Yep.
Wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah.
It was. There's a bunch of art everywhere too. We had to be careful not to knock that shit over. But it was super cool seeing you there, and I didn't even know that you were getting into the real estate space, you know? And it's just awesome. Like, not only just having family that's doing the same thing that I'm doing, but also just someone that I could relate to. Because I feel like a lot of people in our family went different directions, and that's all good, you know? But to know that there's someone else who is mindset driven with the business and entrepreneurship realm of things, it warms my heart. And I'm so proud of everything that you've been able to accomplish that led you up to this point.
Oh, thank you. I'm really proud of you. I've always attended your events and watched you, grow before my eyes as I was growing at the same time. And what's unique is that when you're on the same mindset with people, it's not about competition. So I've never been like, God, my cousin's doing better than me, or, oh, I'm doing better than my cousin. It was always like, I'm proud of him. I see him growing. I'm growing. Like, this is an amazing thing to be experiencing, even though we don't really work as closely together. Being cousins, but still we're in the same space, and there's enough for everyone. There's no need to be competing with everybody. So
or like gatekeep.
It's like,
I think every time you've ever called me for anything, I've always been an open book, and vice versa. You know, it's crazy, man, having you on my podcast. Like, to me, this is just, I don't know. God's wild, man. God just be bringing people into my life, and we're just doing things, But, cuz for the people that are watching that might not know anything about you, go on ahead and just take them back real quick. Where did you grow up, and when did the idea of entrepreneurship ever even present itself to you?
Okay, so I grew up like around northish.
Here in San Antonio, right? You're born and
around
raised?
Helotes area.
I'm not born here, right?
Yeah, you were born in Ohio.
Yeah, Cleveland.
Yeah.
Ohio.
Yeah. I want to go to the amusement park that's over there.
Oh, yeah.
Cedar something?
Yeah.
Yeah, want to do that. So one day we'll go.
It's so far. It's like a 21-hour flight to get to Cleveland. It sucks.
Oh, forget it. Never mind.
Yeah, I don't know why it's like that. Maybe it's because the airport system sucks balls here, but yeah. Bro, fuck no. Let's just go to Rocky's Tacos or something, you know?
I've always been an entrepreneur. We get it from our grandma. Our grandma always had her side businesses, trying to make money any way she could, selling candy apples on the side of the road, selling halos at Fiesta. we were just raised with, you know, being your own business, and maybe they didn't understand, you know, scaling or the importance of like systems and processes. And it was more of just like the daily hustle. And I think that's a good foundation to have and to be raised in, is that daily hustle and work ethic. And I think that comes from our culture, but for sure for me, it was from our grandma, you know, and I think that's a lot where you get yours too from.
I've never given her flowers on my podcast for any of this. And you are absolutely right. That's insane. I remember going over there and she'd had that giant steel pot melting with that beautiful smell, that candy smell.
Yeah.
I miss that. Man. You know, another thing that she made really good? Mexican rice.
Oh, duh.
God. Yeah. Tell me somebody carried the mantle of that recipe.
Me?
You did? No way you can make rice like that. Are you serious?
We'll ask Ryan later. Yeah.
If you bring rice like that to me, I will cry if I bite it. I swear to you.
I'll bring some.
That's one of the best memories that I've had. And she always made the best arroz con pollo, man. That shit was bussin'. You know, dude, you just really awakened up like a memory for me. Like, man, it did come from Memo.
Yeah, I absolutely. And I also get it from my dad's side too, but I didn't really grow up very close to them. It was way more, you know, my mom's side and Memo, and just seeing her be a single woman, never remarried. She didn't even drive, like pretty much my whole life. And before, she never drove. She wasn't afraid to take the bus. She wasn't afraid to walk where she needed to walk. Even when she became really a lot more elderly. Yeah. My mom would call her and she was downtown at the cathedral praying, and my mom's like, how'd you get there? And she's like, mijita, nomás unos dos buses. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, I think she tripped one time and I was like, no more buses, Memo. Like, come on, you have us, we'll take you. But that's where my entrepreneurship absolutely started from. And then too, my dad always being his own business. I wanted to always help him. He had me do his contracts for him, little things like that. So it's been in me since I was born, pretty much.
I think it's such a beautiful thing too, because, you know, entrepreneurship can stem from so many different things. For us, it was like seeing Memo just do that hustle for so long. And I heard she kept doing that even after I had left, you know, because around 12 was when I left the family, my dad's side of the family anyway. And I felt like I was completely isolated from you guys, aside from when MySpace was big and we all talked to each other and stuff, you know. I just feel like I really disconnected from everybody. I miss my grandma. I'll tell you that. And I remember when we went to our tia's funeral, I got a chance to see Memo, and I hadn't seen her in so long. She held on to me the whole night. She loved me. She always loved me. And she was never bad either. It was just, you know, the relationship that I had with my dad was so wishy-washy and very rocky. I just never wanted to be around him. So like, he was always around Memo, so I couldn't just spend time with her. It's cool though, like thinking back on those things, man. That is crazy. I had never even thought about that, but it's also a beautiful thing, you know. And then growing up and going over and staying the night at your house and shit, like those are some of my best memories of stableness. Like I got a chance to figure out like what a family really looked like, because I always felt like you guys had such a great family. I mean, I know every family has their problems and their ups and downs and stuff, you know, but I remember like you had your own room. I didn't have that. I had a living room with a mattress on the floor and we all slept on it. It was terrible, you know? So like going to your place, I was like in fucking Disney World. I remember we'd be playing like, you had an N64. We were playing Banjo-Kazooie, and we also played Super Mario 64 and Super Mario 3D World.
I don't remember. I have the worst memory.
It was so awesome. And I just remember going over to your house and playing all of those games on your N64 and just being like, this is fucking amazing. Like, this is where I want to be all the time.
I'm glad you remember, because I'm sure that's helped mold you into who you are today and helped give you insight on the family and lifestyle you want to provide for your son, you know, is to get a glimpse of something. I think that's always a good start, is to, we don't know what we don't know, right? And then we see something and we're like, wow, that catches my attention. Wow, I want to implement that, or I want to attain those goals. And so, you know, I don't remember, but I'm happy you remember.
Yeah. You were, I mean, how old are you right now? As crappy as a question as that is.
Sure. I'm 31.
Okay, cool. So I'm older than you. I'm 33.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm guessing big bro now. I'm kidding.
You're July what?
July 20th.
Okay, and I'm the 21st. But
what?
92.
90.
Okay. Yeah.
Amazing.
So we're cancers.
We are. That means we're fucking emotional, bro.
Super. I was about to cry right now talking about everything. My goal is to not cry.
No, you're good. If you, dude, be who you are and let your emotions flow, you know? I was just walking out of my therapy place earlier, right? And I was telling him about a thing that was going to bother me later. And she challenged me to do something different, right? And so I said, all right, I'm going to do it differently, but I'm going to let you know it's going to be hard because you know what? I'm just not going to care. I'm going to do what I'm going to do and I'm not going to care. And she was like, why are you saying that? And in my head, I was like, what do you mean? She's like, I just want to catch you right now. You are suppressing your emotion. You should feel that. Even if you don't agree with what it is that you have to do, you should feel that, you know? And in my head, I was like, wow, that's just like, I don't know. It's such a big deal to me when she told me that. She was like, you have to allow yourself to feel. You can't.
Everything.
You see, so like motion stands for energy in motion. And that means that it can either flow or it can crash. And so not allowing yourself to feel is like putting dams in front of you where those emotions could break through. And then all it takes is one shitty experience and then they flood your whole body because you never gave your body a chance to process them. It's called feel, deal, heal. Feel it, let it flow through you, deal with it, understand it. Why are you feeling this way? Heal from it. You let it go. You know what I'm saying? And so like going through the notion of that, I mean, just going over there and being in with my therapist and then coming back over here to being in a podcast with you, it's crazy to think about that, you know? But I remember when we were younger, the times that we had at Christmas at my grandma's house.
Oh, I was just talking about this the other day.
Isn't that something? Like I always felt like those are the best Christmases in the world, man.
Paint the picture. Paint the picture.
You want me to paint it? Okay.
Yeah.
It's cold. It's really cold and it's dark and there's lights everywhere, like Christmas lights. I remember walking up to the gates and then seeing Memo's white rocking chairs. I hated those chairs.
The metal ones?
Yes, and I tried to sit on them. It was too cold.
Yeah.
And then we go inside and there's everybody that's there. It smells like, what are those crispy tortillas that have the cinnamon? Buñuelos. It smells like buñuelos.
I make those.
And she made them. And then just Christmas vibes. There's a tree in the middle of the living room. I hated how small that living room was. And then she had this room where she did sewing and shit, right? And it was right there to the right. I remember you walked in and it'd be right there. And then there was a little bar. And then on the other side of that was the kitchen. And then the kitchen led to, over here was, what's her name? Sylvia, her room. And then if you went to the left on the hallway, there was 2 rooms and a restroom. To the right was the restroom, and she had that sliding door restroom shit that I never liked. I fucking nudged my toe on that thing more times. The room over here was just an empty room anybody could stay in. The room right across was Memo's room. And if I walked in there, she had fucking weird ass shit in there, like crazy ass fucking puppets, like weird
Pee-wee
stuff.
Herman puppet?
Yes.
That used to trip me out.
The Pee-wee Herman one scared me, bro. If I went to the pantry area across from that, the pantry area had Cabbage Patch Kids in the bottom. And all this food and stuff, canned everything and different types of Kool-Aids and spices and all of her candy apple shit everywhere. And if I kept going past Sylvia's room, the backyard was there. And the backyard was massive
Huge.
to me.
Huge.
Was it still huge getting older? Or was I just a kid?
No, she had a really big yard. She did.
I remember the backyard being huge and there was a fucking shed back there. And I slept in that shed for a little while. I remember for whatever reason, Memo didn't want to let us stay inside the house. I don't remember why, but we had nowhere else to go. And so we slept in that shed and it was hot as hell. I don't remember there being a trampoline, but I remember there being a weird tree that you can climb on. And it was like
It was a
tree
fig tree.
Yeah. And it was like a long, you know? And then there was plenty of room for those crazy go-karts and stuff like that. And there was a gate on the left side. If you opened up that gate, the whole driveway went around the whole house to the front. I just painted Memo's house from memory. Have you been there again?
Not since they sold it. It was a little bit before that.
I can't even recognize it driving by it on the highway anymore.
I know, because it's not pink anymore. It used to be a pink house or a purple house or a red house. She always had
velvet.
it like colorful.
Yeah, it was like a velvet house. And I remember it's like on the gate, it said Flores on it, didn't it?
It's gray now.
It's green? The
Gray.
house is gray?
Gray.
It's gray.
Yeah, Flipper came in, painted it gray.
That's ugly. That's our grandma's house, bro. If I would have known they were selling it, I would have bought it and kept it.
That would have been sentimental. It would have been nice.
Yeah, but I mean, nobody talks to me in the fam, so it is what it is. And maybe they didn't want to either. And that's okay, you know? But yeah, I remember when Yeah, Lucy was in the hospital, and I went to go visit her. It was crazy, like being around everybody again, because I hadn't seen everybody in such a long time. And I swear to you, Thea, Lucy could feel me. She could feel me. And when I touched her hand and I said, it's Quentin, I saw her eyes like move and I saw her get happy. God, man, seeing all of you guys like that was so hard. And man.
Well, I knew that you hadn't really come around the family in a while, but I was the only one that was like in contact with you.
You were.
So
you've always been.
They gave us the news that she wasn't doing very well. And my first thought was like, everyone knows except for Q. Like, I need to tell him. He needs the opportunity to come and say goodbye and say thank you, because she took you in, you know, when you were a teenager. I think you even went to middle school. That's how long you were there.
I did.
Like, you know.
I lived with Lucy for 2 years.
Mm-hmm. And so I didn't feel, and not that anyone said not to, but I didn't feel right knowing that, like, I knew this and how much she loved you and how much you loved her, to not reach out. I was like, I need to reach out to him. Like, he needs to be able to come say goodbye. I couldn't live with myself if I hadn't made that call to you.
I stopped everything I was doing and went right over there.
Mm-hmm.
It was crazy, man. And it's also just really good seeing everybody. We're all old now, you know?
I know.
It's insane. We're the same age that our parents were
mm-hmm.
when we were just kids running around.
Mm-hmm.
And just to think how fast time flies, man.
I know.
It's beautiful, though. I'm glad that I get to get older. I'm glad that I get to see all of this and experience all of this, even all the shit that I've been able to accomplish, and all the things that I've also fucked up on, and all the failures that I've made, and all the mistakes and the lessons and all the blessings.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so thankful that I get to sit here in my studio with you and talk to you about life and where we're at, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Out of all my cousins, you are always one of the ones that I love the most. And I can't say I don't love all of you, because I do.
Right.
You know, but you've always stayed in contact with me throughout the years, even when I wasn't this real estate person, just
mm-hmm.
trying to be involved, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And seeing everything that you've been able to accomplish too. You're a fucking great mom.
Thank you.
Your kid is so lucky to have you. And you're so driven. I just don't see those qualities in a lot of people, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And just seeing everything that you've been able to accomplish in such a short period of time, it just blows my mind. And here we are.
And here we are.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
It's awesome. You know, Dani, I think one of the things that I've always admired is, you know, just your tenacity and how you just take on things. I remember when you first came to me about the real estate stuff,
mm-hmm.
you didn't really know much, but you were so determined to learn it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I mean, how long ago was that? It was like 2018?
That was when you first got started. And so I wanted to learn about real estate, but at the time my daughter was just born, your son was just born, and I was more focused on being, you know, mom. I was stay-at-home mom, so I didn't really have like the time, whereas you had to provide, right? So I think you went like full force into learning what you can about real estate. And then as she got a little bit older, I was like, okay, I never forgot about the love that I had and how drawn I was to real estate. So at first opportunity, I picked it back up. And that was about 3 years ago.
That's insane.
Yeah.
How many houses have you done so far?
I flipped 2. One of them was a little bit too much for me, mid project. So I ended up selling it and sold it to an investor who has like 100 Airbnb properties downtown. So I really was grateful for that opportunity because I got to meet him, and now he's been one of my buyers for quite a while. Yeah. So who would have known? And the first one, that's a whole story within itself. I was supposed to make, okay, there's the formula, right? Like 70% minus repairs. Yep. That's your max offer. And I was like, okay, I know how to calculate this rehab. I'm super comfortable and confident with that. My background's construction. Like, I got this in the bag, right? So according to the formula, I was going to make like $60,000, $70,000. And I was like, okay, great. This is going to be cool if I can execute this. I made $9,000. Oh my God. I made $9,000.
I mean, it's better than not making anything, but still, you know, you expect to do so much more for the time that you devoted to that, you know? Yeah. And sometimes those flips just go the entirely different direction, and people don't know that. Yeah. Like, you can go in with the best intentions, but all it takes is one thing going wrong. And if you really bought that property at like a very conservative 70% minus repairs. In my opinion, that's a conservative thing. We lock our deals up at 50, 40 cents on the dollar because we're aware that shit like that happens. All it takes is one fucking thing. It could be one thing, and that could set all of your profit back and increase the time frame. You know, if you're borrowing money to flip a house, you're on a clock. You got 6 months to run that shit because every single month they're taking away from your profit. Now, if you're like cash, well, you don't want your money tied up like that for that long. So it's like, we got to figure out a way to get this thing done and as fast as possible. And that's why I always say, if I'm gonna buy a house, that shit's gonna be vacant, and I'm gonna make sure that fucking ain't nobody gonna run up in there and try to fuck this thing up, because right when we close is when I want to begin this project.
Yes.
Like the next day.
I had actually started before we were even finished signing docs, because I didn't even know how the experience or how the process worked. So I had contractors there working on the foundation, and they were like, hold on, we haven't even signed closing docs. Like, you haven't even been deeded the property. And I was like, well, I signed some shit. Let's get started. Like, I don't got time to waste.
That's crazy. Yo, I love it though, because you're ahead of the game on that. As long as you had permission. If you didn't, then fuck it.
No, he was like, didn't mind. But still, I was like, oh, okay. It just comes with part of learning. Like, I didn't know, now I do. You know, so I had picked that one up on a hard money loan, and it was asset based, which was really nice, something I had to learn about. So it was like, I didn't really need money or credit. Well, they forget
those asset based loans are high interest though, as long as I don't like them.
And they forget to tell you still need what's called cash to close. Right. So it's like, this qualifies. You still need like $40,000-$50,000 to bring to the closing table. It's like, crazy. Oh shit, I didn't think about that. So I ended up finding a lender in California who brought the $40,000 cash to close.
Dang.
I was just so excited. I wasn't paying attention to shit. Turns out there were so many stipulations in that promissory note that he lent me $40, and at title at the day of closing when I sold it, he made $80. And I realized I want to be him. I want to make 100% return on investment. He's the motherfucker I want to be out of everyone here. Like, not the flipper, not the lender, him, the second lien holder. Yeah.
It's insane. But, you know, that's also like a predatory loan, in my opinion. Like, he really took advantage of that situation to make double profit and then eat away at everything that you were supposed to make. Granted, learning experience, all good. It's still like, you know, like your own personal development shouldn't cost that much. You could have paid $40,000 to a mentor and had somebody for life, you know, and that's the reality of it. But, you know, it is what it is. That guy saw an opportunity and then capitalized on it like a motherfucker. So there you go. You still learned from it.
I learned from it.
And that wasn't the last flip that you're ever going to do.
No.
You know, it's just the first one. And that one's always the most rocky.
Right.
I've been scared as fuck going into deals before, man, because you just really never know what the hell's going to happen. You might have all the best intentions in the world, but you really cannot tell the fucking future. You could buy that house and then put everything in there, and then next thing you know, you go back the next day and somebody stole both the septic tank and the inside and outside AC unit. How the fuck did this even happen, you know? So you just got to be wary and make sure that if y'all are using, like you guys that are listening right now, if you're using that method, go lower. Hit them at like 50%, especially if you're going to be buying it and flipping it yourself. Some of y'all might be listening to this podcast thinking like, oh, you know, woe is me. Like, nah, man, like people make mistakes, bro. And your first flip ain't going to be the one that's going to make you a millionaire. Not at all. And it's a cash grab. It's a good chunk of change because you get the experience. But, you know, I don't know a single person who flips houses and makes millions of dollars doing it.
It's not scalable.
Those taxes too, man. The capital gain tax from buying a property, renovating it, and then selling it. That knocks 30% off of your profit margins right off of the rip. So, you know, flipping is quick cash. You always want to focus on figuring out ways to create passive streams of income because that's what's going to set you free. Otherwise, you're going to have to work on the next flip, and then it's never going to be enough.
Then you're just self-employed. And the whole point of getting into real estate is to be financially free and have generational wealth. You cannot create generational wealth with fix and flips. It's a fun experience. I learned a lot. I had to get that one out of my system, you know, and I learned a lot, proved a lot to myself. Realized it's not for me, even with all of the experience that I come with and all of the subcontractors that I have under my belt. And that was a tough one.
Especially like, man, I'm thinking like, did your dad help you too?
So I'm stubborn, and I was like, I got this. I don't want my dad. I'm so stupid, right? Like, whatever.
You have all the resources in the world right there, man. Come on.
Because I'm so like, it's going to be, I accomplished this. I don't want help. Like, I don't want, you know.
Yeah.
So I started it, and then it was going downhill. And I had to call my dad, and he helped me. He came in, and he was like, this is not to code. This is not to code. And he was my savior because, you know, as much as I knew, people will still always try to take advantage, especially being a woman in the industry, you know?
Oh, man, that's the toughest part. I mean, I'll be real. Real estate is a male-dominated industry. And it's the saddest part about it. You see a lot of ladies getting taken advantage of here. And, you know, that's why you got to stand on your ground, recognize the game that you're playing and the area and the arena. You know, it's like a chick putting on fucking football pads and trying to hop on the field. And you're playing against the fucking Cowboys and they're going up against the 49ers, bro. You are a woman on that field, right? Hey, you just got to be wary, you know, and stand on your ground. You know what I'm saying? So, like, you come into the jungle, a lot of people would say, you know, be careful for snakes. You know, a real motherfucker would say, you're in the fucking jungle. Snakes are fucking there, bro. Yeah. You got to be weary of that and understand that that's part of the game. So I'm sure that's allowed you, though, to tread lightly on certain relationships that you have now that you bring into your circle. From that flip where you made the $9,000 on, what would you think is the most valuable thing that you learned from going through that?
I learned the importance of studying and being as prepared as possible. There are certain things you're just going to learn from going through the experience. Yeah. I would say it is very risky to do what I did, having 2 lenders and having a second lien and not having the understanding of how to read a promissory note, or not having an attorney verify things for you and say, hey, this is what you're signing, this is what you're getting into. I like to shoot from the hip. Obviously, I got lucky. I know it could have been absolutely worse. I could have come out under. A lot of things could have gone wrong. So my advice would be, you know, study, make sure you're prepared, make sure if there's something you don't understand, you have resources in place, like an attorney or a mentor or something like that. That's what I would have done. Yeah. Granted, I can't go back and change time, but if I could, that's what I would do.
I think that's great advice because like this is the thing too that I also learned. You can learn from your own mistakes all day, right? But when you have somebody in your corner that's made that mistake, listen to an episode like this. Like this is mentorship, bro. Like you're literally getting coaching from Dani right now. Like legit. Is it Dani, right? Like Dani, or how do you pronounce it?
Dani.
Okay, I fucking knew it. Okay. You know, like you're literally getting coaching right now. And my mentor told me this. He said, Q, you make so many mistakes, but you make them on your own, right? He's like, I taught you so many amazing things. Why would you want to learn from your own mistakes when you can learn from mine?
Exactly.
And that's when I was just like, damn, I never fucking thought of it that way, bro. But it really changed the way I looked at business as a whole. And so I seek out mentors. I reach out to people like Dani, which she's going to drop her social and everything. We're going to put all of that on the episode. And you know, you reach out to someone like her, you ask her questions and you provide value to her. You want to learn this business, you want to learn it fast, bring her a fucking house. I promise you, she'll jump at it, you know? We're going to go see a house tomorrow.
We're going to go, yeah.
It was random as hell.
Q was like, hey, I opened up my office. He's got this really amazing opportunity for people who are looking to get started. He's opening his office. Gave me a sneak peek at the behind the scenes. I said, hey, I'll make some calls. He's like, really? You make some calls? I said, yeah. I got on second call. This guy wants to sell his house. We're going to look at it tomorrow.
10 a.m.
10 a.m.
Here we are. Cousins buying houses. Let's get it. Yep. Now, going into your second flip, was that a lot better than the first one?
It was worse.
No way.
It was worse because I wasn't in the right mind space. I had a lot going on in my personal life, and I thought that would distract me and that would kind of help me with what I was going through, and I bit off way more than I can chew. Fortunately, I found that buyer who was able to come help me out of that situation, but I was really frustrated with myself because I was like, I just went through that first flip. I just learned so much, and I really wanted to put everything that I learned into action. And unfortunately, like I said, things in my personal life didn't put me in the right headspace. And so I didn't. And now I'm at the point where I'm like, okay, I learned and I'm satisfied with that. I don't feel the need to do a third flip. I want to share my experience, help anybody who's looking into doing that. Like you said, you know, you can make your own mistakes, but it's better to just learn from people who have already made them and save you time and save you money. So now my focus is more education, mentoring. I hesitant to call it mentoring because I'm just more of like, I'm me, you're you. Let's figure out where I can add value and where you can add value in return. So I'm really focused on scaling my business, putting systems and processes, helping people who are interested in becoming wholesaler or even into real estate understand what they need to understand. I'm an open book. I love to teach. That's like where my passion is.
I love to teach too, because when you teach, you learn.
Yeah. I was at lunch with a special friend, and she said that we're very much alike. I was like, we are.
Well, I mean, yeah, we're only blood.
I know.
And we're both fucking Cancer.
In real estate.
Who's this special friend? Is she hot?
Is she?
Yeah, I hope so. Anyway, yeah, man, I think that when you learn the business, you start flipping more houses. You gain more knowledge, you gain more expertise because you're now applying the things that you learn. But then when you're teaching someone else to do the same process that you've done, and you're helping them avoid the mistakes, you get to learn and earn at the same time.
Yes.
You know, I'd rather somebody come through and bring a flip to the table so that we could split it halfway down the middle, and I walk you through the whole fucking process. It's so much easier that way.
It's so worth it. It's so worth it because when someone comes with experience, they're able to help see things that you wouldn't see. Okay, perfect world scenario, you're able to do it by yourself. Why would you want to?
Yeah, fuck that.
Why would you want to? You know, you go further with the team. I used to be very like, just me, just my way, and I didn't get very far. My flip, I didn't think I needed my dad, who is a home builder's help.
Yeah, that's pretty rowdy.
You know?
That could be pride and ego, though.
Yeah.
Which those things just need to be fluent, because it's okay to have pride. It's okay to be a little egotistical. Like there are certain times when my girl be telling me that I'm like dumb ambitious and shit, and that like, what does she say? She says things should just flow. That's what my chick always tells me. And so I always say like I force the flow. Like for me, like if it's gonna flow in any direction, I'm gonna build in that direction, you know? And, you know, it's been hard for me to just accept when things are the way that they're supposed to be, because my whole life I've had to fight for what I wanted. You know, I wanted stabilized income that would cover all of my expenses. I fought for that. You know what I'm saying? I wanted the body that I wanted, that I have now, where I feel stronger and sexier than I've ever felt. And I'm still not done, but I'm chiseling away at it every single goddamn day, because I create the outcome and then I use action that drives me in that direction. And so like letting things flow is one thing. I think that there's a constant state of flow that needs to be there for things to become what they need to become. But there's also that sense of urgency that you can add to the flow that allows for the current to move in that direction. But that's like that's like a push versus pull kind of thing.
Right.
You know, because if you can push yourself to make $1 million, that's easy. That's you pushing yourself every day. When you're pulled to do that, that's different. If somebody held a gun to somebody that you loved and said that they were going to kill that person if you didn't come up with 10 grand in the next 24 hours, I swear to you on everything, every person in this building that's literally helping us with this podcast is going to find fucking 10 grand.
Yeah.
Like they're going to find it. And then you got to ask yourself, why aren't you going after your goals with that level of tenacity?
Yep.
If you would just constantly allow things to flow, then things are just going to happen consistently with no control. You need to figure out a way to create habits and discipline and shift the thinking in your paradigm. Like your paradigm is your subconscious mind. It's where habits are created. Once you shift your habits, you can create the outcome that you want. And people don't know that. That's like deep rooted mindset work. And you get to experience this by holding people's hands and teaching them, giving people your own personal development, making mistakes and learning from them, and then learning from the mistakes of other people. Because education is constant. Everything in this world's trying to fucking teach you. But you got to be that pillar of education where it's like you stand on the shit that you learn. You know, pillar is literally like foundation, right? There's pillars underneath of it. Without proper foundation, everything that you try to accomplish is always going to fall.
Yeah. I want to add on that. So this past weekend at that real estate event that we were all at.
It was so much fun. Shout out to HBHS and Wholesale Live 2.0. That shit was off the chain. Love you guys. It was a movie. It was great. I had a really amazing conversation with somebody who was talking about having a solid foundation. And I was like, yeah, absolutely. But let's take it a step further. In order to build up, you need to dig deep.
So for however high you want to build, you have to dig half as deep, just architecturally, genuinely. If you want to build 20 feet up, you got to dig 10 feet down. And so you can have a solid foundation, but if the depth of you is not dug out, the foundation is always going to be weak. Yep. Your foundation cannot be surface level.
God, you made my heart rate go up talking about that. That's crazy hearing you say things like this, because I just know a different version of you.
Yeah.
I know, like, when we were kids, you know, it's just crazy to see how much you've grown. You saying things like that, just like, if I could, I'd scream right now. That's how much energy is flowing through me.
Let's mute the mics and scream.
Definitely. So now being where you're at, right? I mean, tell me what life looks like right now and what you're currently doing in your business, and then the goal that you have for the next 5 years.
So I just started a new partnership. I work with my boyfriend. He's literally my best friend. I was ready to give up on real estate a couple of months ago. I was just done. I was like, I can't do this anymore. I don't know if it's for me. I was having a really hard time making progress the way that I wanted to. I felt like I had so many obstacles in my way, and I was like, maybe this is just a sign to pick a different type of industry to be in. He was like, no, don't give up. Like, you know, we've always wanted to have a business together. Like, let's just see where this leads us. So we ended up meeting an old friend of mine from the industry who needed help because he struggles with systems and processes. He's just usually a one-man band, and he does really, really well. But he wants to take his business to the next level. And he's like, I want to find a younger generation to be able to come help me put this into play. So we met up and we were like, okay, let's take it deal by deal. Let's see. I'm not really ready to commit into like a partnership or anything like that. One thing led to another, and we actually all work very well together. And we just created our LLC a couple of days ago. We're Blue Star Capital Solutions. Go Cowboys.
I love it.
They said, don't say Go Cowboys. And I said, I don't care. I'm going to say Go Cowboys.
I love it. What a great name for a company.
So we've got a couple of VAs and an agent right now. My goal by the end of the year is to have 10 agents, and you know, I've really been able to implement the systems and processes that I know need to be in place. I've taken a lot of past experience in what not to do, because there is so much you can learn in what not to do, right? It's like, goodness gracious, I know that doesn't work, so I'm never going to try that again. Which being a creative thinker and thinking outside the box, you don't just think, okay, that didn't work, don't do that. It's that didn't work, why didn't it work? And let's see the reverse side of it. Will this work? And then, okay, yeah, that works. Move on. Keep going. So that's where we're at right now. I'm really happy with being able to do what I love, which is to, you know, scale and grow and mentor and build. And we have a solid team right now. I'm really proud of them. One of my guys today was the first day on his phone. He got 3 leads. Wow. And so it makes me feel proud because he's came with like no experience. So with the right guidance and the right mentorship, anybody can do this, you know, and that doesn't always just have to be me specifically or you specifically. This industry is so big. There's so many people who have amazing knowledge and amazing resources, you know, so just tap into what you have. You know, everyone has a network, and if your network isn't scaling you or growing you, get a new network.
Yep.
You know,
I agree completely. Dude, cuz let me help you with what you have going on in your business.
Y'all heard him. I'm going to keep him to it.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, this is what I do. I've been doing real estate for a decade practically. It's been a journey, but I've learned a lot too. And we're doing deals every month. I mean, literally fucking that we contracted for yesterday. We're looking at projected revenue, 40 grand in just those 4 contracts. We got more coming too.
That's amazing.
The business next door steadily pumps anywhere between 5 to 6 figures a month, very easily. But it's been like that for so long. It's a stabilized business, and the overhead is damn near non-existent because it pays for itself.
Right.
Really, we pay for internet and the office space. That's it. And so, you know, we keep everything low. Everybody here understands that you keep what you kill.
Yep.
And so we provide you with everything that you need. You come through and you get a chance to use the resources so that you can grow your business. You know, we don't gatekeep either, man. So like over there, like you come through, you're going to see everything. You know what I'm saying? For everything that it is. But right now we have this amazing opportunity where we're bringing people in. And if you're watching this right now and you want to come through to Q's office and you want to learn how to close real estate deals, you could just DM me the word closer and we can get this thing rocking and rolling. But Dani, I'd love to help you with your business.
I would absolutely appreciate that.
I got to look at it.
I know you've got a lot to offer. So any advice I can get.
Two heads better than one. I know you and your boyfriend are doing this together, but you guys are like one person.
Yeah.
Right. So with me coming in, it'd be a little bit different, but we can invest in more things that I think would help your business grow more substantially.
I would love that.
I love partnering. We can talk about it off the camera and all that.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, what do you hope to accomplish within the next fucking, let's say 12 months? Where do you think you're going to be at?
In the next 12 months, I would love to have found people who are motivated, people who are like-minded, that want to get into real estate, and I want to have an operation that has an opening for them, that has doors for them, that has growth for them. So I'm really working on automating that to where I know that I can't one-on-one with everyone right now, or even just people that we're onboarding. So I'm putting automations in place where they're getting the training that I know is going to help them, along with, you know, working with me as well, but to where I don't have to sit with them for 2 weeks straight, right? Because I can help one person, but if I put systems in place, I can help multiple people. And so I always just want to help anybody who's interested in real estate. I feel like there's a lot of, how would I say, not so accurate information out there about how to get started and what to do. And I'm not saying everything I know is accurate and right, but I believe in what I know. So everything that I say is with full confidence. And sometimes I'm wrong, and that's okay because I'm still learning, and I'm not afraid to admit, hey, you know what? That wasn't the right path, but let's learn together. Or this is what I've learned in the past from all of these mistakes. I want to help people not make so many mistakes.
I love it.
Yeah.
You know, I think the reason why I'm able to do so many things is because I've helped so many people. I went to the room earlier just because, and I needed $60 in cash. Today's one of those days I just don't have cash on me. I never really have cash on me, but I've been needing cash. And so I went to that room, and because we have a whole bunch of random people in there, everybody was just like working. And I said, guys, I need $60. All of them know me because they follow me on social media. Everybody fucking went and pulled out their wallet. I think in like a 3-minute period of time, I probably raised almost $500, $600 just being Q and walking in that building. And, you know, my buddy Cameron came and gave me the $30 and he was like, dude, don't worry about it because you helped me make thousands of dollars. I can give you 30. And then my buddy Alex Zapita, who's also came to the office, he said, dude, I got you, man. I give you 100, bro. Like, you've done so much for me. And I just like, I get all this money in my hand. I'm just like about to cry because I just am so like, you know, I'm going through something right now. So when I see shit like that, it just gives me confirmation that I've been doing the right thing. Yeah. And that one mistake doesn't shit on everything that I've been able to do and everything that I've been able to accomplish. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And so like seeing that over there was powerful because I had all of them willing to just give me that money because of the value that I've given them, or the change or inspiration or that nudge that they needed to go and do whatever the fuck they wanted to do for themselves, whether it be business, fitness, whatever the fuck. It's just super cool to see that impact, you know what I mean? And so, man, the reason why I was talking about that is because your success is going to be completely aligned with what you're capable of doing for other people. Right. It's not about the size of your bank account. It's going to be about the size of the people that you've impacted, right, and the level of income that you've helped them attain, the trials and tribulations that you help them process while you were fighting your own fucking battles. You know, it's a crazy thing, man. It's a crazy thing.
I learned years ago do you remember my first event?
Yeah.
Okay.
How did that go, by the way?
It went good.
I totally didn't go.
Yes, you did.
I did? Okay, cool.
No,
I remember.
The first one, not even real estate related.
I remember.
Do you remember?
Yes.
Well, it came about because
my baby mama sang songs, right?
Yeah.
I remember that. That was a good event.
So I wanted to get out there and promote my business. And I tried for a little bit, like, you know, hey, this is what I do, blah, 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 blah. And people were like, okay, cool, typical. It wasn't until I was like, what if I promote other people's businesses, that it really took off. And I've kept that with me all of these years. It's anytime I find myself being selfish is when I stop having opportunities that are going to help me and that are going to help me provide for my daughter. And
wow,
the more your intention is to help people,
yep,
the more successful you'll be. Success only comes from helping people.
It does.
Selfish people, I mean, granted, you can make dollars, but I don't think dollars adequates to success.
Nope.
Success is, what do people think about you? What do people look up to you? Is it in a good way? Do you provide opportunity and value? You know, are you a good role model for your children? Are you a good person? I think that is successful. Successful people, it's just more of who you are than how much money you have. Because there's some rich ass motherfuckers that are not successful.
Yep.
You know,
I've also seen some miserable rich people.
Yeah. So I think success comes from being selfless, and more opportunities come your way when your objective and your goal is to help people. And I tell my team when I train them, yes, we are in sales and marketing, but we are not salesmen. We are educators. We educate people. We help them. We provide solutions. We are a solution and service-based company.
You know, when I introduced you, remember you went to my event that I just recently had, the one in March, right? The growth event?
Yes.
What'd you think about it?
Oh my God, it was awesome. You had amazing speakers.
I did. It was super dope.
We should have another one.
We will. It's probably going to be in March next year. So I remember I introduced Preston on stage.
Yes.
And I said, this guy's in the business of building whole neighborhoods, right? And then he grabbed the mic. He said, Q, you got everything right about me, but the one thing that you forgot was I'm not in the business of building neighborhoods. I'm in the business of building people. Bro, that's stuck with me for like this whole time, you know? And it's true, man, because literally we like each one teach one, each one reach one. We do something different for every person that we're able to reach out to. And so the more impact that you give to the world, the more that the universe is going to push the right things to you.
I believe that 1000%. I've seen it. I've seen it be true. I've seen it where I'm like, get full of myself and I get in my head and I get selfish, and then I see opportunities stop coming my way. I see things happen in my life that I'm not happy with, that I'm like, maybe this is a sign, maybe this is a wake-up call that I've lost sight of helping and creating opportunity for other people. I think that's the absolute secret to success, is
fire, cuz
making it a goal to help as many people as you can.
Fire. Dani, I appreciate you being on my podcast, cousin. It's so awesome.
Q's cousin.
Yeah. I love you so much, man.
I love you too.
And it's super awesome just being in your life still. Out of everybody in my family, anyway. It's cool that we stay connected. You are literally like one of the main connections that I have to that family that I felt I got pulled from when I was younger. And so you always keeping me involved and keeping me updated when I know damn well you don't have to. It means a lot.
We're family. I do have to.
I know. I'm saying you don't have to, but if you feel that you have to, then fucking I appreciate you for it. It means a lot to me. For everybody that got inspiration from this, because you guys just got the story on 2 different flips that went south, still building, still reconstructing the business, real as fuck, really. Like this has just been real. Where can people follow you if they want to reach out?
So I just changed my Instagram name to Real Money Calling, because I have this thing where when I meet people and I tell them to save my number, I tell them, when you see me calling, money's calling.
Okay.
So sometimes I'm a little bit more like confident and out there, but right now we're just chilling and I love this. So yeah, this Real Money Calling. Working on building, my social media. I feel I have a lot to share with people.
Yep, you do.
And so I feel it's time for me to stop being so worried about what people think of me and just put that information out there, regardless of if I benefit or not. As long as one person benefits from anything that I have to say, it was worth it.
I love it. All right, guys. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. I'll catch y'all on the next episode. Let's get it.